Yosemite Falls is actually made up of a series of cascades. The upper waterfall is almost 1,500 feet of a sheer drop. The lower falls is 350, 380 feet. But in between those two big waterfalls is the middle cascades, and it's a series of 7 or 8 waterfalls, some of them up to 220, 240 feet tall. And the middle cascades is hidden from view. You can't see it from the path. And that's how it got the nickname Middle Earth.
Over, down, out. So if you did the hike, you'd have to go all these switchbacks, all up and over, around, traverse in, and then come.
Have you seen this thing, Ben?
We decided that what we wanted to do was do a technical multi-pitch rock climb up toward the base of Upper Yosemite Falls. And once we got to Upper Yosemite Falls, we would find a way to rappel down into the Slot Canyon and continue to do a series of rappels until we got to an escape point where we could find a trail to walk out.
Climb class 3 to the beginning of pitch 1. Climb into the squeeze chimney for 10 to 15 feet and go left over the flake. Look for gear in the wide crack on the left of the flake. Carry on to a tree on the right and belay about 80 feet and 5-2. Cool.
Every year for probably 2 decades, our family takes a rock climbing trip. This most recent trip we planned almost a year in advance. Actually, we sat around a campfire in the Wind River Range and planned to go to Yosemite. I found out that there's a whole series of inaccessible pools going all the way up the middle cascades. So, of course, I put 2 and 2 together and thought we could be the very first people to ever fish in the middle cascades. The whole rock climb took us probably about 3 hours, finding the pool, rappelling down there. It took hours and hours, and 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon rolled around and we hadn't even started fishing. We realized immediately that it was rapidly becoming a dangerous situation. So that left us precious little time to get some casts in. Yosemite Falls in the spring is just a torrent. The water just thunders down there, and you need to wear a rain jacket if you're within a quarter mile of it. It just sprays water everywhere. And when it's running like that, of course, it would be suicide to go into the middle cascades. But if you wait until the water drops in the fall and there's just a 1, 2, 3 CFS coming through there, it's navigable. But one of the dangers of going down there is that an afternoon thunderstorm can just turn that back into a river, like turning on a faucet. We found one place in particular, a pool in between 2 giant cascades, and we were able to sneak around the outside and get behind them and get in a position where the trout weren't alarmed and didn't know we were there. We knew that we had to be super sneaky in walking around in this slot canyon because the trout are not used to having anyone around. The water's extremely clear. And I think the trout are wary to overhead dangers. The rainbow trout of Middle Earth. That's the native fish here. They've probably been stuck in this slot canyon since the end of last ice age. Did he get an eat? Those big ones are hard to catch, and the little fish are always faster than the fly, it seems. So the fish we caught were gorgeous, beautiful native rainbows, just heavily spotted to match that clear water and that granite bottom. I went for the wet fly. Yeah! Went right over your head. Most canyoneers, when they come down here, they're wearing a wetsuit. We are soaked, we're at altitude, and we are in a dark, dreary canyon. And we got really cold really quick and realized we had at least 4 or 5 more rappels and more swims to get out of that canyon before it was actually dark. We were extremely lucky, not just to find those fish, we were lucky to get out of there safe and sound and get back to our campfire, share a few beers, and recount an incredible day that will probably never be repeated.